Hello, how are we all doing today? Long time no see, eh? I've had my dinner. I'm here now with a lovely hot chocolate, ready to spend an evening writing with you. So if you are also partaking in any November challenges, or you just fancy continuing your work in progress, we're just here. We're gonna chill, have fun. Um, yeah. Here is today's picture. This is our friend Red, and her dearest sibling Pebblefoot, and we gotta make y'all love Pebblefoot, in this episode. So, or in so we're gonna tug at the heartstrings, but I thought this was a very apt picture to start things with. Thank you, Corey. Yes, they are very cute. You may hear fireworks in the background during the stream. You may not, depends on if the mic is picking it up, but they are going now. Because it's the Saturday nearest Bommy night. So they're quite loud. But if you can hear bangs, that's what it is. It's just fireworks. Oh, thank you, Jay Fedber. Yeah, no, I'm very happy with it. I'm enjoying making the images for each episode as well. They're a lot of fun. So yeah, so today's episode is the first where Red is like grown up. I found that the work progress process from yesterday seemed to be doing all right. So I'm gonna try that again, see how things go, just play it by ear. If you have any questions or anything about my process, what I'm writing, Novelcrafter in general, I'm here to answer them, and we can just chill. Oh, hiccup. Yeah. Um. Okay, so I'm gonna go on to here. I'm gonna change the format back so normally I always have it where the scene's at the top to save on screen size, but I'm gonna put it so it fits content so that we can keep it there and see everything. Um, so I need to work out, I think, first how Silent Hunter works as a game. Um, I guess. Well, that was loud. Um. Oh, we still have the puppers. Here you go. Here's some Novelcrafter. I was just changing Red's names. Corey had to remind me that you were all seeing the puppets. I mean, to be honest, a stream just staring at some wolves art, not the worst way to spend the day, but probably not what you were expecting. Oh wow, they're going crazy. I'm gonna get distracted. It's a shame I can't see them out of the window. But they're coming from like behind me. All puppers all the time, absolutely. If I knew a way of getting the picture so it just like was up in this corner, I absolutely would. Um, so I feel like Silent Hunter. So a game that Storm Chaser developed to help pups learn their hunting skills. They are what is that game? You know, the one where you have to creep as near as you can, and then when someone turns around, they then have to stay still. Oh, maybe it is Marco Polo. Okay. Yeah. Um, Okay, there's now. Oh, I can see some fireworks. There's two different displays going on at the same time in different locations, and so you can just hear the beats out of time. They're just like ever so slightly out of sync. It's like boom 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 boom. Okay. Or freeze, maybe. Or freeze. Yeah. I mean, thankfully, because the AI doesn't actually use any of this, this is for Kate's reference, but I'm just trying to like envision the game in my head so that I can kind of work out what's going on, how it's going to be played, how I'm then going to write it. Um, yeah. Well, it's like Guy Fawkes is like, you can celebrate my anniversary, but I also appreciate bedtimes for school-age children. And so you can just celebrate on the Saturday either side, I'm not offended. Probably the whole executing thing offended him more than them changing the anniversary. They must freeze for 10 counts. Okay, right. I like that. I think that makes sense that when you freeze, they get to run. So it's like you've got to catch them without being heard. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I think, I'm going to pin this. Right. Okay. So we're going to get started. Okay, so if you weren't here yesterday, the way I did it yesterday was like I spoke through a rough like verbal kind of like detailed summary, like more detailed than what I had here. And then I took that and began making it more into prose. Um so we'll see how it goes. Um oh, I've opened up the wrong tab. It's not Control F, Control H, it's Start H. Okay. Red sniffs the air, trying to make out the different scents. She describes various scents until she finally hones in on the one that belongs to Pebblefoot. Full stop. She begins to follow that trail, sneaking in and out of the trees, avoiding areas she knows are marshy. Full stop. As she travels, she notices some tufts of fur on a tree and sniffs at them. They smell familiar, however, the tufts are scraped against the tree in the wrong direction. She redirects her attention, no longer relying on her sense of smell, and seeing if there are any other marks, any tracks. She soon comes to a small stream. She pauses, recognizing it, but not sure where from. But on the other side, she sees some muddy paw prints hastily scraped away. Gotcha, Red thinks. Picking up her speed and going forward. Her prey is in sight. She can hear a rustle. Her paw lands on a twig. It snaps. Her prey, a brown wolf, snaps around, eyes on Red. Open brackets. Pebblefoot says a key word for the game, and Red reluctantly freezes, closing her eyes. She feels Pebblefoot brush against her as she passes and playfully nips. She hears Pebblefoot leave, and the chase begins again. Okay, that's the first bit. Let's see. We can use my dictation cleanup prompt that I demonstrated in the last stream, if any of you were there. It does make it all in past tense, but I think that's because the story is in past tense. Okay, so summary is, oh, I want that to travel down with, so maybe it was stacked. No, not stacked, centered. Oh, I thought it came down with me. Which is the mode that, yeah, like maybe it's because, I don't know, how do you guys say read? Like as in you read a book. Does it sound the same in American English as it does in British English? Because obviously there's read a book, but read a book in the past. Yeah, read, read. Yeah. Huh. Okay, so we have that. Knowing that Pebblefoot can easily find a new place to hide, Red decides to abandon stealth this time, running swiftly through the trees. She knows these trees by heart. She's returned to this part of the woods for the last 10 winters now, for as long as she can remember. These are like second nature to her, but they're also like second nature to Pebblefoot, and so she has to be quick. She takes shortcuts, jumping over traps left by poachers and clumps of mud and twigs she knows will give her away. She is almost there. She leaps, pouncing on Pebblefoot, who is frozen still. She doesn't realize until she is on the other wolf, them tumbling down a hill, that there is something wrong. The two look up, panting, out of breath, and see what was once a large tree in their woods that has been cut down. Red sniffs at it. The top of the stump is pale, untouched by rain. Several other trees in a line have also been cut, as if a straight line has been cut to bisect the forest. She looks at Pebblefoot, and Pebblefoot looks back. I might. 1 minute. Because this is kind of annoying me. Clone prompt. So I'm just going to the instructions and I'm going to get... Huh. Oh, interesting. I already had removed. Maybe it's part of scene point of view. Maintain tense. That should work. And right. In the distance, Red hears a howl. She sighs, recognizing Stormchaser's call. Tails down, the two make their way back to the pack, knowing that they have wandered off too far. When they get back to the pack, they are surrounded and sniffed. I can't remember what his name is. Stoneclaw. Stoneclaw, Pebblefoot's father, seems agitated and tells them not to be reckless during their patrols. Pebblefoot is indignant and declares that they were only doing their job and that they have actually found something. She excitedly leads them back to the trees, and the two wolves are surprised when their elders are not happy at this sight. Oakfur mumbles that this is bad news and it means the humans are encroaching on their territory. The pack keeps going to their winter den. However, they are now more cautious, staying together where possible and making sure not to disturb the wildlife to leave no trace. The nearer they get to their den, the more signs of human encroachment they see. More fresh stumps, strange tracks not made by footprint or hooves, and the acrid scent of metal and smoke. The groups reassign, and Red travels ahead with Farsight as the two fastest pack members. Okay, that's fine. Where am I up to now? What projects are you guys working on at the moment? Red and Farsight soon find evidence of a clearing that wasn't there last winter. They creep closer to the edge, belly low to the ground. Deep down in a crevice, humans have carved into the mountainside, creating deep wounds into the earth. Red watches them enter and emerge from the crevice, pushing carts filled with strange black rocks. She sniffs the air. They smell wrong, like earth, but not a homely scent, like something twisted. The humans have built strange dens around the hole, and more humans mill around carrying tools that seem familiar, but Red isn't sure where she's seen them before. In the center of the clearing, a large man with a sword and metal clothing directs the others, his voice loud and brash. It reminds the way that others defer to him reminds Red of how Stormchaser commands the pack, loud and expecting to be obeyed immediately. Oh, okay, Sassy Writing Coach says short stories in the same world that's interconnected, romance. Oh, nice. Yeah. I know a couple of people who are doing that. It sounds a lot of fun. Like it means you can kind of keep things going. Do you do them all in the same book, or do you publish them in different books, like different short stories? Mari says all the stories because I'm dumb. You're not dumb, Mari. You are enthusiastic and have many ideas. I mean, my library is. I mean, obviously, some of these are like novel stream, but my stuff goes on and on and on. So I am not one to judge. Dictation cleanup, maintain tense. Ha, that. Yep. Ah, it's great. Having lots of stories is fun because it means then you never get bored on anything. Okay, accurate. Okay. So different short stories for different series. I've used the codex so much and learned I need the town as a codex to hold everything in place. Then piece for each. See, oh, okay. Oh, nice. Yeah, I the codex is amazing. Like that is my I mean as a heavy plotter, it is my dream come true. I mean I know there's only 58 codex entries here, but that's because I've just not had time on stream to make loads, but I make codex entries for everything and anything. Okay. To one side, she observes the humans chopping wood into larger pieces than she would expect for fire. They are putting them together into some kind of bigger den, something that looks strong enough to last over winter. It reminds her of the towns that they avoid when on their yearly migrations. She suppresses a snarl as she realizes that they are trying to claim pack territory. A flash of memory hits her as she sees the axe hit a log, the weight of it in her hands, the smell of fresh cut wood, a male voice guiding her and hands on hers as she learnt how to do it properly. She feels a sudden pain in her chest and backs away, whining. Um, Farsight. Okay. I love the codex so much. Question. How do you keep the AI from load error? I've pulled in only entries needed and moved in and out from book to series to all. Any other tips? Do you have your entries as global entries or do you have them as like um as not? So if you don't want to overload the AI, I would suggest not calling all of your entries. Um, you can keep them in your codex, you just don't need to call all. You can, if you want, like, say, if you had different chapters with different characters in and you wanted them all to be in each beat, you can go to the Codex Plus button here and, like, click on that and add any of your entries, and that way they're included in every scene. You can also, if you go on / and open up your scene beat, You can preview a prompt and see all the codex entries that get brought up. So then you can see if the AI is getting overwhelmed by those codex entries. Does that help? Farsight snaps at her to behave, but Red is in too much pain to pay attention and obey. She continues stumbling back, her legs, her paws feeling strange as if they are stretching. She is in agony and bites down on a branch, knowing she can't alert the humans to their presence and not understanding what she is going through. She continues to stumble, falling onto her side. She can vaguely hear paw prints in the leaves, but her sight is prickling. She can't see anything. Her vision is fading and her body is moving and changing, and she is scared. She feels fur brush against her, but it is not the same sensation. It is closer, coarser. She opens her eyes and suddenly everything is different. She is no longer looking straight ahead, but can see more around her. Everything is much more vivid in color. She looks down at her paws, and they are no longer paws. Sweet! Okay, 1,000 words for a detailed summary. Oh, I'm glad that helped, Sassy Writing Coach. Okay, so I have my... Okay, so you can see like some bits are not quite, as like, but okay, I'm happy with that. So there are a few things I want to work out, and I'm going to add in by hand before I go into writing the prose. So now I'm going to ask some questions to AI for like research like things. Um, how might an author describe the various scents in a way that a human I'm just curious now to see. Okay, so it's more... Okay, I can work with that. What does Pebblefoot? Freshwater rivers that are far away from... I should travel to know some to... Red redirecting attention. Is there anything I need to add in just as notes? Okay. This might go a little bit slower than... Okay, Kate, this is a first draft. It is okay if it is a little bit shit to start with. Okay, right, let's... stretch and then... Okay, right, let's get going. Right. Deep earth, mushrooms, petrichor. Petrichor. What was depots? Deep earth? Mushrooms, petrichor. Or damp earth. Damp. The scent of fear as a rabbit passed through the bush. Red Storm kept her nose to the ground, inhaling deeply as she prowled through the forest. These were her lands, her scents. She knew them like the back of her hand, her paw. She raised her head, sniffing at the air. Rain was due, but beneath that, a scent that hit the back of her throat. That tang you only got from freshwater rivers far up the cliffside, away from human taint. And beneath that, the charcoal left in the sun to dry. She inhaled deeply, and the scent was stronger. She got a direction. Tilting her body, working out the best trajectory. Red Storm pounced. No. Okay. Prowled forward, following the trail. Pebblefoot couldn't be far away. Red Storm passed through the trees, weaving, keeping her path unpredictable, harder to hear. She stepped aside marshy pits of earth where lesser animals were bogged down. She snapped to the side and pulled up a frog, tossing it up and catching it in her maw, chomping down. Okay, yeah, some of these words are definitely not right, but I will... Oh, shit. Pardon my French. Fiction cleanup. Novel tense. And then I will add in any changes, and then hopefully by doing these changes, it'll get better at recognizing these things. So I know, like, Red Storm, Pebblefoot. What was the... I know someone recommended a software earlier today, and I can't remember what it was. The one that had 93 minutes a day. Does anyone else remember what was... Um... Far up the cliffside. Yeah, the software from today's stream, the voice software. I'll make this more interesting, like in edits. um, Racing towards a large log that had crashed down, pinned against an old oak tree. Red Storm crouched, muscles coiling, ready to jump. She stumbled mid pounce, cut, falling to the side and skidding to a halt. There on the edge of the stump, just peeking out, two thick globs of brown fur. Red Storm looked around, checking to see if anyone was watching, if there was a trap. No. Hmm. Hum. Red approached, sniffing. The charcoal was stronger, tangy, but something niggled at the back of her mind as she nosed the fur. The way they had caught against the peeling bark was not quite right. Wow, okay, rude. Oh, Corey, perfect timing. Turbo Scribe, let's have a look. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know if it has a browser plugin or if you have to upload. Um, okay, yeah, no, it doesn't seem to do a live. Yeah, it's a monthly sub option, but it seems to be you have to upload the file, whereas I'm wanting something more that puts it live from what I could see in that brief moment. Although I didn't look too deeply in it, so if anyone could correct me, please do. Okay. That's like AI where it's repeated the same thing a gazillion times. Um, Something niggled at the back of her mind. A full stop. Oh, okay. Okay, wow. Something. I mean, yeah, really, if anyone can help, find me an alternate voice thing. Um, Voice to text browser extension. Amazon Web Services do it. Um, okay, well, obviously they're going to have their own thing there. Okay, dicta note. Interesting. I mean, I guess if people want to see what I'm looking at the moment. um, I just wish I knew which websites it supported. Um, okay. I'll do some research later. I'm getting distracted now. Well, it depends if, I guess. Then again, I'm not getting distracted because it wasn't actually working on here. So, you know. Something niggled at the back of her mind. The bark curved upwards. Only splitting higher on the branch. If Pebblefoot were leaping clever. Red Storm with bark of laughter, Red Storm turned on tail, well, her hind legs. Burst back through the undergrowth the way that she can. Had Storm don't fall. It is the best way to lose a. It is. Don't fall prey. It's. You do, you lose. Pebblefoot had red huffed, red snort. The scent from her nose. Red slowly moved forward. Cautiously, the ground quickly grew softer, wetter. The ground quickly grew softer, wetter. Squelching underfoot. She glanced behind. Her footprints were her paw prints. Paw prints were eaten up quicker than she could make them. Yes. She always liked the water. Soon enough, stream. The of rain this early in the wet season. The stepping stones that dotted the water jutting up at angles. Looking out of place. My God, this is so slow to type now. I'm just like, oh, okay. Let's see if the voice diction's back. She paused. Oh. Okay, it seems to be. She raised her snout, sniffing the air. Pebblefoot was there. Yes. But something deeper. Redstorm sniffed again, following the banks. It was dark, like earth that had been trampled on by a stampede of deer. Fear of prey, yet anger of predator. Deep burning desire, but not that of mate searching for mate. Hunger, like the smallest pup in winter. It smelt familiar. It smelt... Hyphen. The wind blew and it was gone. Redstorm shook her head, pushing the scent away. She was getting distracted. New line. The second rule. Keep on your guard. If you get distracted, you get ambushed. New line. Oh, sorry guys. I seem to have gone offline for a moment. Are you all still there? Corey, did I go offline for you or... I don't see anything in the comments, so maybe it's fine. Oh, it corrected Pebble Folks to Pebblefoot. Okay, I'm back then. That's okay. Yeah, no, I suddenly noticed it disconnected. Was it for long? But oh, that's nice. The diction software recognized Redstorm now as a name and Pebblefoot because it's reading the 300 words above. That's nice. Okay, just a few seconds. That's all right. I'm kind of curious now how much this prompt is costing. Let's go on to Open Router. Oh, like a ridiculously small amount. Um, I mean, yeah, these are. So that's the cent mark. Yeah, this dictation prompt is like dirt cheap. Amazing. Always good. Always good to know. I mean, I am 99% sure that if Drunk Claude read this, he would be like, yeah, this playful chase scene is going on too long. Um, but I'm having fun writing it now, so I'm going to keep writing it. And if I have to cut out 1,000 words of playful chasing, red hunting down Pebblefoot, then I will. But also, how dare you? Right. Yeah, well, exactly. Our English teacher would be hating this. English teacher would be like, I literally don't care about this. And I'd be like, yes, but have you also thought they're puppers? Okay, so TurboScribe uses Whisper for AI, but they claim. Okay, is there space? Is there a different software you would recommend then if um TurboScribe is not what you would think? I want something that does live transcribing, I guess, rather than like you're taking a writing break by listening to me write. Um, Red crossed the stream. On this side of the water, the earth was firmer, the water draining quicker in high ground. On the shore, deep paw prints hastily scraped away with a snout. Gotcha. Red thought. Muscles coiling as she picked up her speed, heading in the direction. Every 10 paces or so, she would sniff, check the scent was fresh, looked the same as the direction the paw prints were going on. Do I need to have my microphone here? Would this help if I'm like whispering into my microphone as I'm talking about the story? Hey, well, if it's helping, we can do a side gig of random writing ASMR of me reading out random stories. Um, Whispers of the Codex. Red. Aliases. Little Red. Red. Red Storm. Red Leaf. Wild, unbrushed, red hair that reaches her waist. She hasn't had it cut in 10 years. Powerfully built. Walks with a slight hunch in human form. Burns easily. Scars across her arms and legs from years in the wild. Okay, anyway, yes. What was I doing? Oh, but that's great that Rory's still doing dim sum deliveries. Don't give up your day job. Rory. Novel tense. Novel tense. Okay, I think I'm gonna cut. Ha ha. Yeah. She picked up her speed. Her prey was in sight. A rustle, a squelch. She needed to be quick. Coiling her muscles, Red Storm leapt. Racing through the air. Stormblood. No idea what that is. Let's see if this remembers. Maybe it's just she. Bodies collided. Fur on fur. Teeth not quite catching on scruff. The two wolves tumbled together, rolling down the slight incline. Pebblefoot yelped, squirming, but Red held on, unwilling to relinquish her prize so quickly. They came to a stop against a tree stump. Bodies colliding roughly on bark. Red grinned wolfishly. Ears pricked up. as she waited for the code word. Silent Hunter. With a huff, Pebblefoot fell limp, tongue lolled out as she panted for breath. Red flopped onto the ground beside her, staring up at the forest canopy. Um, okay. Why'd you stop running? Red nudged Pebblefoot with her snout. New line. You could have run further. You always run further. New line. I Pebblefoot hesitated. I thought the great oak was around here. Red paused. Then rolled over, rising to her haunches. She looked at the position of the sun, then at the break in the canopy where the insert name here mountain stood. Yes, they couldn't be far from the great oak. ... Wait. Since when could they see the mountain? Okay, I didn't get that this time. Maybe because there's no Pebblefoot in the last. Red sniffed at The stump nearest them. Then at the next. Then at the next. They were all perfectly smooth and in a straight line. She'd never seen a storm cause damage like this, so perfect, so uniform. Nature didn't do anything like that. She and Pebblefoot continued down the line of felled trees until they reached a large one that lay near a clearing. Red sniffed at the top of the stump. It was pale, untouched by rain, and the scent markings were faint. No creature had been near this in some time. She looked around. There was no look, no sight of the stump. Not stump. What's the other word? There's like the stump of a tree, trunk, I guess. Of the trunk of a tree. A tree this large would fall and stay. The land was flat. This Red looked to Pebblefoot, hoping her sister would have answers. Pebblefoot's ears were down. Her shoulders raised as she nudged at the tree. Da da da. Da da da. Ya ya. Um, okay, well, I've got to the daily target at least today. Although, no, I've not. Yeah, I mean, this absolutely needs to get cut down in a next draft, but what do you think this is? I don't know. Do you think hyphen a howl cut through the trees, sharp, loud, and pure? The two wolves glanced at each other, cringing. Mm. Dee doo 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 dee da da dolls. All I want to say. I mean, I don't know what I don't know is, but I don't know. sharp loud. A oh, a howl sharp pure. Sometimes I'm like, what on earth is it? She glanced to the sky. The sun was beginning to dip under the tree line. They'd left to scout at noon. Tails down, Red Storm and Pebblefoot made their way back to the pack, back to the route they took every year. The same route they followed in the spring when they moved north to cooler climates. New line. The pack was quiet, stealthy, moved in a long line that concealed their numbers. But Red Storm was always able to find them, always able to find her way back home. She hoped to slink into the back of the pack, but they were spotted long before the elders surrounding and sniffing at them. Fine, Dad, Pebblefoot grumbled, but she stayed still, allowing Stormchaser to reassure himself. Don't know who Redstone is. Has she become a stoner? What have I told you both about leaving a sensible scent trail? Were you two playing? Dad, we're fine, really. Stormchaser. Were they playing? Dad, it's fine. You're not a child anymore. You have a task. We did our task. Pebblefoot shook her head. Remnants of the river flicking out. We found something. Okay, let's see if I can. Okay, no, it doesn't want to. Leaving a scent. Um, what? Storm Chaser seemed. Mm, what? Storm Chaser snapped. Her relaxed demeanor shifting, hackles rising. Where? Across the river. Come, come, look. We were searching for the Great Oak, and you need to see. Pebblefoot danced ahead, practically vibrating as she led the pack. Red was content to follow behind, hoping to avoid the ire of Storm Chaser and Stoneclaw. It wasn't the Guardians that were worried. Longtail and Oak Fir also made their way to the front of the pack. It would have been stealthy, unnoticed in the general shifting of the procession during the day. However, usually one of the two stayed at the back to keep guard. This is bad news. She caught a mumble. From Oakfir, she thought. If those humans, the rest of the words were cut off by the whoosh of the stream as they passed over it. Okay, I'm happy with that. If we go on to the review page with our, I mean, scenes and chapters are the same in this, but I am happy with my overall word count. Um, it's higher, or it's higher than the daily target. Not as much as yesterday, but it's like 20 to 9, and I want to have some time to unwind before bed. So I'm gonna head off now. Thank you everyone for chilling with me. I might come on in like the morning tomorrow if I've got some energy, and do the next day just to keep the daily practice going. But it'll be at fairly short notice, I think. Just kind of a casual little thing. Um, just so I can finish off this scene, and then Monday through Friday it'll be like the normal 4 till 5:30 GMT, so whatever the normal stream time is in your time zone. But yeah, thanks for giving me company, and for the random noises from Corey, and I will see you all next week. Bye guys.